Ladies and gentlemen. This is August the 29th, 2024, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And this is our We the Kids webinar for children learning to interview.
Everybody said they were coming. So give me a minute to call everybody. I'm excited.
You know what I tell people, though, don't you?
Uh
Even a mafia's on time. Come on now.
uh
It's a sign of disrespect if you're late.
I think the California kids that are back in California just came on.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Jack. Hello, Henry. How are you, gentlemen?
I'm doing good.
Where's Henry?
Oh, he's here.
Where's your
Actually, you're
mom?
doing well.
Yeah, she's doing good. Thankfully, we got everything taken care of and into our new place.
Good.
By the
Oh,
way, you're doing well, though, Henry. You're not doing good. You're doing well.
okay.
Let's see. I think this is it. I think Aaliyah, Sammy, Henry, Jack, and Mallory will be here. Kimberly and I were so impressed with the meeting last week that we're encouraging other moms to join us. So, do you have your questions for Sam, for Mr. Bushman?
Yeah.
Aw,
Hopefully, you put together a little sheet like we talked about. Hopefully, you're really ready to go.
did you do it off of what we talked about? What he talked about last week? Did you come up with a few questions for Mr. Bushman off of the suggestions that he made last week?
Questions down.
I'm sorry, what?
I wrote some questions down.
Okay. So maybe we will review afterwards. Oh, Mallory and Miss Kimberly, I hope to heck you got your camera fixed. Mr. Bushman has invited a special guest, and I'm excited. Jack, where's your camera at?
I'm putting it on. It's
All
right here.
right.
There isn't a lot of space, so I'm just here right now.
Okay, good. All right, good. Hi, California friend.
Howdy.
Hi. Well, we've asked the moms to join us. Mr. Bushman is going to have a special guest tonight. So I'd like for you guys to be on for a little while and to see how this works. Kimberly and I listened in last week and we both were so impressed. But what I'd like to do, Sam, would you start us out in a word of prayer?
Sure.
Absolutely. Oh, Sammy, not me?
No,
All right.
Big Sam. Mr. Bushman, you're fine.
All right. So you want me to say the prayer?
Please.
You got it. Our dear Father in heaven, we come before thee this evening to thank thee for the opportunity that we have to be together. We're grateful for the opportunity that we have to mentor one another and spend time together as friends and family and loved ones, to put our hands to the sacred cause of liberty, to make sure that we're selfless and that we're on thy errand. We pray for wisdom as we go about these activities. We pray for open minds and open hearts that we may learn well and serve thee in ways that's pleasing to thee and ways that will lift those around us. We pray for civility and the spirit of unity to be with us this night, that as we learn together and pray together and work together, that thou will prosper our efforts, both financially and physically, that we may carry thy word and thy work beyond our own individual efforts in a way that will bring liberty to the nation, bring people together in the spirit of cooperation, and most importantly, that we can be selfless in our actions and in our efforts. And we invite thy spirit to be with us and pray for these things in the sacred name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Wow. All right. Can Aaliyah, since we can't see her, can Aaliyah and your mom hear Sammy?
Leah's supposed to be on a different like device phone. Yes, and she's not here. She's at home.
Oh, she hasn't signed in yet, but she's supposed to sign in from home.
Yeah, we can call her.
Yeah, please do. So let's we're ready to get going. And I'm just looking to see Henry, and we're good to go. I get so excited. You guys, you need to appreciate the fact that I am so weird that I get really excited to see you all. Maybe that's not weird. Maybe that's just a good thing. What do you think?
Well, it's a great thing. Whenever we're involved in advancing God, family, or country, it's a blessed
Oh,
thing, and we all
amen.
should get excited.
Amen. Yeah, Miss Kimberly's having issues. You can hear us, right, Kimberly? Yeah, all right. Okay. Okay. Is Henry with you, Miss Scarlett?
Thank you. Is he
Yeah,
with you?
he's here. Yeah,
Okay.
he's here.
Okay. All righty. Oh, I see Aaliyah. All right. We're all here. We just lost Henry. Oh, there you are. I was looking for you. All right. Mr. Bushman, take it over.
All right. Thanks for being along, everyone. We appreciate all of you. Hopefully, if you weren't able to attend last week, or I guess it was the week before, 2 weeks ago, you were able to watch the webinar. It was archived, and hopefully Judy sent that out, and everybody's caught up. In 30-second summary, we literally talked about how to conduct interviews, the do's, the don'ts, the whys, the hows, from practicing so that you don't get tongue tied, so that you don't have all kinds of ums in your language, all the way to prep notes that help you prepare for interviews. Hopefully, a lot of that, if you research it, you go over it a little bit at a time, you practice it, you work on it, it'll become second nature to you. And I'm telling you, those are the building blocks to great interviews. Those are the building blocks to real journalism. It's about the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And it's about conducting interviews in kind of a style that is all your own. And the only way to develop your own style is to practice, 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 practice. And if anybody knows the story of Pete Maravich, that's all he did. I mean, he would spin a ball on his finger literally 24 hours a day, and everybody just laughed at him, thought he was just a goofy kid until he became one of the best basketball players ever known, one of the most disciplined, godly men to take the floor, somebody who really spent the time. And because he spent the time, he was rewarded. Even if we have talents, the Lord can prosper our talents only after we do our part. And that's where journalism comes in for all of you, whether it's broadcast journalism, which I do, whether it's journalism by the written word, which some are better at that than I. Either way, the same principles apply. The first thing you got to do is you got to show up, and you got to show up early, be the first one there and the last one to leave. Believe it or not, in the business world, if you show up consistently and you're the first one there and the last one to leave, you've got 90% of the population beat. Did you know that? And if you have your head in the game and you're focused on your work, that you're hungry, you're ahead of 95% of the population. So I bring that up to say, let's welcome a man who has done that in his life and in his career. He beat Bill Clinton, the president of the United States, at the Supreme Court. His name is Sheriff Richard Mack, and he is my surprise guest. Welcome, Sheriff.
Well, that was fast, Sam. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you. I really want to know more about this organization that's on with us.
We the kids.
So here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping the kids can tell the sheriff who they are and what they're about.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, that's even better.
Let's start out with our California boys. Jack.
Yes. Hi, my name is Jack. I'm 18, almost 19. I live in a town called Thousand Oaks, which is north of Los Angeles. And one thing about me is I just graduated high school last year. So I'm already a first year college student. I'm just taking some classes at a community college, but that's it.
Can you
Okay,
tell
so
us a little bit
what
about We
is
the
the
Kids?
Jack, what is the purpose of We the Kids? What is that about?
Oh yeah, the purpose of We the Kids is to, well, one thing, it's a thing for kids to where it's a radio program that we have our own radio show, and we like to educate other kids about the truth about America because truth is the world is teaching a dark or a
Is
bad stuff about America, bad
Well,
ideologies and false
let me ask you
ideologies.
then,
So
did
what
you
we're trying to
graduate
do,
from a public school or were you homeschooled or charter
I was
school or what?
homeschooled.
Okay. Well, that's the best school in America. And that's probably why you know so much about America and history and all that. But I love homeschools and I really do believe they're the best school that anybody
I,
could go to.
yeah, I think so too.
Okay, Sammy, would you introduce yourself to Sheriff Mack?
Sure. Hi, my name is Samantha. I'm 13 and I love singing.
What have you been doing with We the Kids?
I have recently gone to California and I have gone to Pennsylvania. And I don't know, it might have been a couple years ago for We the Kids. And um, while in Pennsylvania, I got to go get an award. Well, we all went to go get to receive our PAB award.
What award was that?
Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasting.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Way to go.
We won 3 years in a row for our radio show. We the Kids is based on getting kids involved in learning America's accurate history through primary source material by doing projects. And we won
Okay.
3 years in a row from the Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters for Excellence in Radio Broadcasting, which is on our podcast or our radio show is on WFYL in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia area.
Well, it sounds like we ought to get some of you on the Liberty Roundtable radio show.
Is that Miss Kathy?
That's Sam Bushman's radio network.
Yeah. Kathy is a good friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Lydia.
Yeah,
Lydia.
Yeah,
she's part of it.
so I do the
Lydia.
Liberty Roundtable radio program, and I syndicate that show and run Kathy Smith's radio network called the Loving Liberty Radio Network.
Yes.
So it's a show on her network.
Yes. I got you. I'm aware of what. Okay. I got you. I understand. Scarlett, I would like to introduce her, the boy's mom. Henry, I'd like for to see you on camera too. But Scarlett works with Rick Green from the Patriot Academy and is very active and very busy doing that. And her boys have grown up and learned about the Constitution and America's history because of their mom.
Well,
So,
way to go, Mom.
oh yeah, she's pretty darn awesome. Want to say hello, Scarlett?
Hi, everybody. I can't help it. I got that American Spirit 1776 DNA running through my blood, through my veins. So,
Wonderful.
Where's Henry at, Jack?
well, there he is. There's Henry. Speak. You
Hi
can
there.
unmute.
I don't see
I'm
him.
here.
I see him.
Uh,
Do you guys see him?
Uh-uh.
I see Henry now. I had to push the arrow on my
Oh, there
screen.
he is.
Yeah.
Okay. That's youngest Laney son.
Sure.
So that's Scarlett is the mom of Jack and Henry. Okay, and Miss Kimberly is having issues with her mic and speaker. Kimberly, can you just wave? Can you have Mallory wave to us? I don't know where they went to, but I know she's having issues with her
I
computer.
see a Judy Frazier.
Yeah, that's me twice. the other Judy Frazier is Miss Kimberly. She also uses our Zoom. So that's why
Okay.
she hasn't
All
changed her name.
right.
You guys are seeing people I'm not seeing. There she is. Oh, Aaliyah. Hi. Can you say hello to us?
Hi, everybody.
Well, so
Hi,
what do you
Leah.
do with We the Kids?
So I've been a part of We the Kids Teen Voice. We got to interview a author, and I also went with Samantha, and we went and we actually got to go to California and be in the studio and record live.
What
Wow, way to
station?
go.
I don't remember what
The
station it
answer
was.
San Diego on the Andrea K show.
Right.
You guys did an awesome job. Who did you?
It was amazing.
Yes, it was amazing. Yes. So Andrea Kay actually interviewed you guys out there or talked to you. Anyone
Yeah,
else? Heidi, where are you at?
she's with Sammy. They're in the car.
Yeah, we're just driving. Okay. Well, Sheriff Mack, we are beyond thrilled to have you come in with the kids. I am extremely excited. So we are working with the kids to interview you in the very near future. And our meetings with Sam are just excellent.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's my privilege. I think this is a great program, and I love working with the youth. I used to teach school at a charter school in Arizona for about 5 years, and I had to give it up because I was just getting too many requests to go and speak all across the country about our freedoms, our Constitution, and my Supreme Court victory, which Sam was telling you about. But it was quite a miraculous thing for a small town sheriff in Southeast Arizona to take on the Goliath Clinton administration and then to actually beat them was beyond any miracle I ever dreamed of.
Well, I grew up in Arizona when I was a kid. I loved Phoenix. I loved Arizona. I loved the desert, sunny slope.
Wow, well,
It was
then you
good,
would love
dude.
Arizona. But Flagstaff is very cool. Like Flagstaff's 77 degrees right now, where in Gilbert, Arizona, where I live, it's about 104. But Flagstaff, there's a huge dichotomy in Arizona. Great mountains, rocky mountains with snow skiing, and then you go down in the desert where you would never see snow ever. And it's but there is a beauty about the desert, and I used to roam around the desert a lot as a little boy, and you're right. I love the desert, and I love Arizona too.
Let's see, who's in Arizona? The Swartz family's in Arizona. Where are you at in Arizona?
I live right outside Phoenix and Gilbert.
We're in
Okay,
Surprise.
Oh,
okay.
you're the other side of the county.
Hmm.
We're
Okay.
actually driving to Gilbert right now.
You're doing what?
We're driving to Gilbert right now.
Oh, are you?
Oh,
Cool.
All right. There you go. Well, I have an idea that you guys might find fascinating. So, what I thought Richard Mack and I could do, the good sheriff and I could do, is what if I were to do a literal, like 3 to 4 to 5 minute interview with the sheriff so you guys can see a little bit how it's done? So, Sheriff Mack, you and I are going to role play right now. We're going to pretend like we don't know each other, but I've done a little bit of research and I'm ready to have you on video or a video program with me for the first time. So, I'm going to just start out and say Sheriff Richard Mack is a man who needs no introduction. He beat Bill Clinton at the Supreme Court over the Second Amendment, the Brady Bill, 27 years ago. To this day, he continues to educate all across the country about the proper role of limited government and the proper role of law enforcement. He leads an organization called the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association, CSPOA.org, and he has a large posse across the country of Americans that help him carry forward that mission. Sheriff, welcome.
well, thanks, Sam. It's great to be with you, and I really appreciate the work that you've done as well, my friend. And I know this battle for freedom in America today is a long and arduous battle, but you know what? Like John Quincy Adams said, duty is ours, results are God's. So I'm all for that.
I love it. You know, we here at We the Kids is an organization that really mentors the youth. And we take mentoring to a new level by helping the youth identify projects and learn to become experts in the fields of the projects they work in. These video series about kids interviewing sheriffs are one of them. The reason that I bring this up is you have been known to advocate for something called community policing. Tell me how children could be involved in the community policing efforts.
Well, first of all, a lot of police departments and sheriff's offices actually have programs for the youth. And in some places, when I was at Provo PD in Utah, it was called the Explore program. And it's where I don't remember the age group, but it seemed like it was 13 to 19. And so they could go right along with the police officers, actually go out into the community and be riding along with them. They could volunteer inside the sheriff's office or the police department. They could uh, go into dispatch and help dispatch uh, when things get really rough and there's only one dispatcher and there's about 5 or 6 or even more calls all at the same time. Well, the kids got to help with that. And for instance, if there's a major traffic accident on a major highway, how many calls do you think are going to come in from people's cell phones that are driving by that accident or that actually saw the accident occur? The police department or the sheriff's office will get as many as 10 to 75 calls on the one thing. How's she going to keep that rolling and answer the phones while she's trying to get the fire department and the paramedics and a police officer all en route to the accident to actually help and save the people that were involved in the accident? So it would really be helpful, and that's what the kids did. They would take those calls and write them down, and if they already had if it was the same call, then they would let them know, thanks for your call, we got it, bam. And just so the dispatcher doesn't have to do any of that. So also, and there was a time where they could help inside the holding cell, the actual little jail that was inside the police department that they have as a holding cell, we call it, until they get transferred to the county jail where they stay a few days or a few weeks or a few months. And if you stay over a year, then you go to the state prison instead of just there in the county jail. But so I think it's a great opportunity. A lot of these programs are there, and you get out into the community where the community policing actually takes place.
Sheriff Mack, in the interest of time, we're going to have to turn this into a series because it's so fascinating and it's a way we can all get involved in solutions. Thanks
Amen.
for joining us, CSPOA.org, to learn more about Sheriff Mack and the work that he does. CSPOA.org. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sam. See you next time.
All right. So, see, there you go. That's just a quick summary. Now, by the way, I didn't have any notes, I didn't have any preparation. I happen to know the sheriff pretty well, so it was a little bit easier than usual. But you want that kind of smooth interaction, though. You want that kind of unique positioning. How many of you even know what community policing is? That's where, in my mind, these interviews all start. Isn't that where the kids get involved the most, Sheriff?
Yeah, it is. And people who, if you want an actual definition of the term community policing, because most people in law enforcement believe that's a redundant term. Well, of course you have community policing. Where else would you be policing? But the whole idea of community policing is getting out and being closer to and closer with the community. So officers go walking literally throughout neighborhoods, walking around schools, talking with kids, making sure everyone is safe, and making sure that they just don't see a police car with lights and siren driving by, but they literally get to know the officer and get to talk with him. And the officer actually assesses and analyzes what's going on in the neighborhood, and especially with the elderly and poverty-stricken areas. And then they find ways to improve the community and not just be a drive-by cop, but actually a neighbor and a friend cop.
Think about if the youth in a community, instead of just seeing a cop car drive by and thinking they need to run, or thinking they need to
Yeah.
flee, or thinking that, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. Just imagine if they were able to wave and go, hello, Sheriff Mack, how you doing, sir?
Yeah,
And he waved
exactly.
back and said, hey guys, nice seeing you. Just imagine what kind of community change we can advocate for. That's what we aim to accomplish. As sheriffs are interviewed by We the Kids, as we put out these videos, we aim to change community policing back to the way it once was. It used to be when I was a kid, you'd teach your children, hey, if you got a problem, look for a police officer, look for a cop, they'll help you. Now it's changed. Why has that happened? What can we do to fix it? What's the way back, Sheriff?
Well, yeah, and like the sheriff or the patrol officers and patrol deputies notice that there's a problem in somebody's home and that they call it the broken window syndrome. And sometimes there's literally a broken window that they've noticed is never getting fixed. And the officer goes and knocks on the door and says, hey, how are you folks doing? Is there anything I can help you with? I notice you have a broken window here. Is there a way that we can help you get that fixed? And people start taking pride in their homes and in their community when they have a fixed up home and not leave things broken. And sometimes people can't afford to fix these things. And the police actually get involved with, say, a local builder supply company, uh, Home Depot, Lowe's, and they actually get this donated to the family, and they go and fix their window for them. And so it's stuff like that where we actually are helping and working with people, and it might not sound like a big thing, but out of little things become big things, and I really think it has an impact.
It's all about service. You think of missionaries and the service they provide for the same reasons. We're
Yeah,
talking about the same kind of principles here, where the police officers can become your friends. They can be the servant of the community that they're working in. They can develop relationships of trust. And then those relationships become the eyes and ears of a peace officer, somebody who wants to
yeah,
protect and defend. They need those eyes and ears. And that's the community that provides the real intel, the real on the ground, what's happening in someone's home, not to spy on everybody, but to say, where can I be the most helpful? Where can I? And I remember a story we did a couple of years ago on the radio, believe it or not. There was a guy who was speeding home and he got busted and pulled over and he just melted down. And the cop's like, what's going on? Why is this guy melting down? Because he got pulled over. Turns out this old man had bought a TV and he was trying to take it home to his wife because the TV broke and his wife was sick. And it was the only interaction that his wife had while he was gone all day. And anyway, long
hmm,
story short, the cop discovered what was really going on and said, you know what? One of my fellow police officers happens to be a wizard with electronics. Why don't we come over to your house about 4 when we get off work and we'll hook your TV up for you? And they literally, and I'm telling you, it made national news. And I covered it
yeah,
as
it
a
did. I remember the
broadcaster.
story.
Yeah, I covered it as a broadcaster. And these cops went into this guy's house and helped him hook up his TV for his wife. And at first you could say, what the heck? That's what we're talking about, though. This wife
Yeah,
was alone. This man was worried as all get out, trying to get back to his wife, wondering what he was going to do. He just melted down because he's just like, oh my gosh, now I'm pulled over and I'm going to get a ticket and I don't have money for it. But all of a sudden the world just got great for this man. His wife got the TV hooked up, so now she's not alone. The cops got to do a wonderful service, and man, the whole news went just bonkers with delight, going, this is the kind of story we want to see. Thumbs up to this.
right.
So that's the kind
Well,
of stuff
Sam,
we're talking
I've
about that
got to
we the
run,
kids are
but I'm
part of.
really I've got to run, but I've got really grateful that you invited me on, and it was great to meet all of you, and I look forward to working with you more in the very near future.
Thank you,
Thank
Sheriff.
you so much. I
All
really
right,
appreciate this.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
you're welcome. Let's do it again.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. All right. So that's the first half hour. We've got probably 20 minutes to a half hour left. Who's going to take on interviewing Sam Bushman now? Who wants to role play with me?
I can interview.
That good, Judy?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to comment before you get started. I'd like to say one
Please.
thing. You guys, you are the beginning of this movement to interview sheriffs to get us back to where sheriffs and kids are on the same wavelength to where we can start turning communities around. I'm dead serious. We can do it. You're the beginning. This is so excellent. We will have other kids that'll want to join. Take it away, Jack.
All right. Before we go to Jack, though, I'm going to set the stage. The stage is this: we're going to do an interview. I'm not going to be a broadcaster for the interview. I'm not going to be an expert in the field. I'm just going to be Joe Blow, businessman, whatever you want to call me, father, whatever. I play a bunch of roles in my life, and I'm just going to be that guy. Jack's going to interview me. When we get done, and Jack will decide when the interview's over, and he'll do a little outro so we know when it's done. And then what I want to do is when you read business books, you learn terms. And one of the terms that we derive from these business education books is called a no blame autopsy. And a no blame autopsy says we're going to dig into the details and we're going to be critical, but we're not going to attack Jack and we're not going to attack Sam. We're not going to attack Judy or anybody else. It isn't about people. It's about what can we do better? It's about how do we analyze this thing with a simple goal of making it better, of improving it. That's why it's called a no blame autopsy. We're going to dig in and cut it up and break it down and dissect it, but it's not personal. It's all about improvement. And so with that in mind, Jack, you're in charge, sir.
Okay, perfect. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another interview. Today I'm going to be interviewing a man named Sam Bushman. So, welcome to the show, Mr. Bushman. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you. Delighted to have be here with you guys. I'm a businessman. I make a living in computers and IT, and I'm a consultant, and I take care of security for businesses. I build websites and develop software, and I run what are called endpoints, which means I install software on a bunch of computers in a business, and we monitor them for security purposes, and we help them with a help desk, and we do a lot of different things, help them with their email and their um, software and their security and their passwords and all these different things just to make sure everything runs great for their business. And so the best day in my world is when no one thinks about IT. No one thinks about computers because everything's working great. When they don't think about me, it's a great day. When they have to think about IT or think about me, it's a bad day because I need to work harder.
That's a that that is a really good answer to put it. And if it's thing I want to mention, is it true that you're also blind?
It is true. I was born blind. So I'm 57 years old now. I've been blind for over 50 years. I have a wife and 8 children. And so I guess every date I've been on is a blind date. And my wife goes on a blind date every time we go out.
That is really cool. That's really it. That's cool that you're able to have 8 kids, and yeah, every date you go on is a blind date. That's one thing. So what got you into IT?
You know, it's a long story, but I was a little kid and all my friends would play baseball and I wasn't able to play. And so I'd sit on the sidelines and I'd have a transistor radio held up to my ear and I'd listen to the radio. And I thought, you know what? I could be a radio broadcaster. That'd be incredible. And my mom thought, man, that's great for a blind kid. That is something he could do. And so they checked into broadcasting school and they basically said, forget it, kid. It's like being a rock star. You'll never make it. So I dropped that dream and I started to go to school and college and I was working on a degree in psychology, believe it or not. And I went and bought a computer because I was told that if I did that, I could scan documents and read them. I could listen to my computer and it could read to me. And it was a great way to get through college. So I bought a computer. But before you know it, I got along better with the computer than I did with people. And so I was hanging out one day and, well, in the computer lab were the girls. And all the girls wanted help with the computer. So I went to the computer lab just to help the girls. That's how it all started. And all of a sudden, this guy walks up to me and he says, hey, sir, you're pretty good at this. Do you want a job? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I guess so. He's like, listen, it doesn't pay a lot, but you can work between classes and you don't have to leave campus. You could just go to class and then come to work for a few hours and go to class. And I said, sure. And I got a job and now I'm helping the girls and I'm getting paid. And I like that. And so then all of a sudden, this professor comes to me because I changed my degree and I'm now taking IT classes. And the professor comes to me and he says, Sam, you seem to have just a knack for this. I actually work for the Navy and I'm an adjunct professor. And so I teach when I'm in town, but otherwise I'm on ships for like, 6 months, 9 months at a time. I said, well, what do you do on the ships? He goes, well, nothing if everything runs great. But if everything goes to pot, then I have to work 24/7 till it's fixed. However, I've got a bunch of clients that I need work done for, and I can't handle them when I'm gone. So I decided to look through my students and see who could take over my clients. Do you want to do that? I'm like, well, I don't know. And he goes, it pays like 5, 10 times as much as you're getting now. I said, sure. Well, that's why I'm in IT.
That is really cool. And I also heard too that you're a Christian. Can you tell us more about that?
To me, it's all about God, family, and country. And so I am a Christian. I do testify that Christ lives and he loves us. I've been a Christian all my life. But you know what? When I was young, I was only a Christian because my parents were. But as I got older, I went through a few tough times in my life. And I decided that it was now or never time. I'm either going to double down and do what God wants me to do or go off and do what I want to do. And I knelt down and prayed. And well, there was a time when the Spirit came over me and said, you want to live the kind of life God has for you because his plans will make more out of you than your plans will. And from that time forward, I've been a God-fearing man.
That's nice. And how old were you when you had that experience?
I was about 20.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
So it's been
Yeah.
37 years ago now.
Nice. That's really cool. And I'm gonna ask a really random question. This is gonna sound kind of strange, but as a blind person, do you have dreams?
Absolutely.
What do you dream about?
I don't know. Depends on the night, just like everyone else. Here's the unique part. Then your next question will be, can you see in your dreams? And the answer is no. And I want to tell you it's because I've never been able to see in my entire life, so I can't see in my dreams. Think about your dreams. There's nothing that happens in your dreams that you haven't experienced or that you don't have an experience about to relate. For example, have you ever dreamed that you were blind and been blind in a dream?
No.
No, because you've never been blind. I've never dreamed deaf because I'm not deaf and I don't know what the experience is like. You can only create experiences in your dreams that you've actually had in life. Now, that doesn't mean that things can't be weird. They can be weird, but it's still from your own reference point. And so in my dreams, it's just the same as real life. I'm blind in all my dreams.
Hmm. Very cool. But like, can you see blur at all, or is it just darkness?
So I can see light and dark. If you flip on a flashlight and shine it in my eyes, I can tell. If you flip on the light in a room, I can tell. But I can't see any shapes or colors of any kind. And I can't see people or anything like that. So only light and dark. Now, to you, light is white and dark is black, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the way it is for me. It is light or dark, but it's the absence of color. So I
Okay.
don't know what white or black is.
Okay.
And you say, how do I know that? Because if you turn on the light and it's a blue light versus a red light versus a green light, I don't know the difference. It's just brighter or less bright. It's not any different in terms of color. I don't know what that means. However, I do have my own way of understanding what colors are, though.
That's cool. That is
Colors are
really
wavelengths, right?
yes.
And so are sounds, right?
Yes.
If I play a middle C on a piano, a guitar, a trumpet, a flute, or a bassoon, can you tell the difference?
Yeah.
But they're all middle C. They're all the same, aren't they?
But they're different instruments.
Yes. So they play middle C, but they do so in their own unique way. That's how different blues are. A different key might be white or yellow or brown, or, okay, that might be a B flat or a G, but the different instruments playing it might be the different shades of that color, right?
Yes.
Is it a perfect comparison? Certainly not. Do I know what it's like to see colors? Absolutely not. Would I be startled if I saw colors? I'm sure I would be overwhelmed. At the same time, it is an understanding of color that makes sense. So my favorite color is blue. My wife's eyes are blue. My Levi's are blue. The sky is blue and the ocean's blue, and they're all different blues. And when you get the blues, that's a bad thing, but the rest is great, right?
Yes.
Wow, Jack, you have done an awesome job off the cuff to interview Mr. Bushman. Mr. Bushman, I cannot thank you enough for being so transparent with all of us and these kids.
Oh, it's fun.
All
And by
right.
the way, I think Jack's done a great job as well. All he's got to do is his ending now, his outro.
Yes.
Well, that's it for us today, everyone. It was a pleasure to have Mr. Bushman on. Thank you again for coming on, Mr. Bushman. And until next time, goodbye.
All right, there you have it. Great work, Jack. Now, I want everybody to participate in this last little segment, okay? Because we only got about 10 minutes left or so. But I want to break down, what did Jack do right? What did Jack, I wouldn't say he did anything wrong, but what could he improve on? Any thoughts? Let's first focus on what he might improve on, so then we can leave on all the things that he did right. What do you think of that? Any ideas of what he can improve on? Come
Anyone?
on, I don't want to be the only one.
I would say on the responses to when you would answer his questions, he would say cool. And so I was thinking if he had a different response each time instead of, I think he used that 3 times. So his instinct was good to respond in a positive way, to make a remark, but it'd be nice if he brought more variety to it and perhaps elaborated a little bit more, even if it was just one full sentence.
Agree 100%. Excellent one. Is anybody writing these down? Because these are your next homework, your next takeaways as you practice interviewing each other and working on these things. It's spot on comment. Any others?
I would have liked to have seen Jack with your intro and your outro, since this is a We the Kids project. In the past, you have done We the Kids and introduced yourself as a We the Kids Liberty player. I would have liked to have seen that for both intro and outro. I think you did an excellent job. I think off the cuff, to just get in there and do it, and to offer to do it, is excellent. Okay.
I agree 100%. Anybody else?
Sammy, Aaliyah, anyone? Do you guys have comments?
He was a good example of courage because, like Sam said, he stepped up to take on the interview first. I
Yes.
just say
Amen.
that because I'll be the one that waits in the back myself. I get it.
Excellent. That's a great comment. Anybody else?
Sammy, Aaliyah,
I
you unmuted. Go ahead.
I thought that he did a really good job. I think that one thing we talked about today, what Sam mentioned, is that we need to make it smooth, almost just like a regular conversation, even though it is an interview, which is something that I'm sure we all can continue to improve on. But
And
that
and
was
hold
just
on,
one
I want to
thing.
stop you. You're right as rain, but let me ask you, what's the solution to that?
Um, if you have time before an interview to, or even just when you going into an interview, having ideas of what you could say to make better transitions or to go on to the next question. One thing that you talked about in our last meeting was that you are in charge of the conversation and you get to decide where the conversation is moving and how to keep it on track. And
That's
I
excellent.
think, yeah,
Except I'd like to see your face, Miss Pretty Aaliyah.
The other thing is, she's right about that. The other thing that you can do, though, and it's a P word, and I'm going to say it again. The only way to get better at those transitions and to get smoother at it is practice, practice, practice. And I don't mean that negatively against Jack. I'm talking about everyone. I mean, look, I've done probably literally, I know this sounds like a stretch, but I swear to you, it's not. I've probably done 25,000 hours of radio.
Are you telling
Okay.
us, Sam, that you didn't walk into this as professional as you are right now?
No, I had no
I
clue. In
haven't
fact, the first
taught
the first
you.
time I went on the air, I was scared to even get on the radio.
I could tell
For
that
reals.
practice. I haven't heard you say or like yet today. Yeah, like all those fillers, I'm very guilty of. I need a lot of practice myself.
We all do. And so I cannot stress practice, practice, practice enough because I don't care who they are, the best interviewers. The only reason they're so good is because they have literally spent hours at it. They say a pilot's not a real pilot until they put in 10,000 hours. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to do 10,000 hours to be, interview sheriffs or anything. I'm just getting across there's nothing that can replace that practice and that experience. Okay. That interview with Sheriff McIntyre, partly it's because I know him, so I could do it off the top of my head. But I do interviews all the time with people I don't know that are that smooth, though, because I've practiced and I know what to say. And I think of my responses while they're finishing their sentences and stuff. And I can pay attention to what I want to say next and what they're talking about at the same time without getting distracted. That's hard to do, but it takes practice and can be done. So excellent, Jack. There's only one way to accomplish that. The only other thing I can think of that Jack could have done that I wish he would have done is this. If I'm a guest, everybody wants to be kind of promoted. Everybody wants to be highlighted. And if I'm the guest, you didn't give them any way to learn more about me or any way to follow up with me or who I am or what I'm doing at all. So if I'm an IT guy, you want to put my website. If I wrote a book, you want to promote the book. Whatever the case is, you want to make sure to give them the promo, give them the point to, give them the. So when I interviewed Richard Mack, I said, hey, if you want to learn more about the good sheriff, CSPOA.org. That's where you go. You can gain a lot of information about who he is, what he does, and how you can be part of it. CSPOA.org. Okay. You want to always promote whoever you're interviewing so that they walk away going, wow, that was something. Everybody loves to hear their name. Everybody loves, and that doesn't mean that they're selfish or anything, but everybody loves to be recognized and appreciated and acknowledged, right? So think about it that way. Any final thoughts for Jack?
Sammy?
I think mostly like the responses. Um and I think that it was great, but like sometimes like maybe like if you introduce yourself at the beginning, like people can like feel more comfortable, and like when they get to know you they can feel like they can talk more.
Yes, that's part of the building relationships of trust that I mentioned, and it can be done relatively quickly with practice. One of the other things that Jack did that I really, really appreciated, this is key. He took the time to ask unique questions that everybody wants to know the answers to, but they might not have even known they want to know the answer until they bring it up. And then when Jack brings it up, you go, yeah, I'm wondering that too. And pretty soon you're glued to Jack, right? And he did that with what about being blind? Do you dream? About my family, or how did you get into the field you're in? That brings out fascinating stories that people tell you. And with every one of those stories somebody tells you, there's nuggets that you can pull on that make great interviews. And so, Jack, that uniqueness of your interviewing style is key. I'm telling you, that glues people to the conversation. Guaranteed every time. Don't you guys agree when he started asking those questions? You were half paying attention and you started to really pay attention. It wasn't about me. It was about the questions Jack asked.
I agree.
They were great, Jack. They really were. All right.
Thank
Any
you.
final thoughts that anybody has on the positive side? Things that he did right. We've already named a bunch of them. I've got one last one, but I'll leave it till the end. Anybody else?
Oh, his willingness to be first.
Yes.
That was very impressive. If we mentioned it before, I want to mention it again. I really thank you for doing that.
Anybody else?
Henry, where have you? We haven't heard from you tonight.
I'm here.
Can you say a word about your brother that's positive?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job articulating his thoughts, and I thought he made it pretty smooth the whole conversation, because nothing was planned out or anything. So I thought he did a good job coming up with questions that are very interesting. So I thought he did a good job.
All right. Anyone else? Any of the moms out there? Come on.
Heidi, can you talk? I can't wait until Kimberly gets her computer fixed because we talked about this last week, how impressed we were. Sammy, can you ask your mom if she can chime in?
My mom isn't here right now.
Okay. All righty. And Miss Kimberly.
Judy, do you have any final comments for Jack? And then I've got one more.
Okay. I think I've pretty well covered it. I am just really thankful that you spoke up and that you showed your ability to interact with someone off the cuff. And see, I'm having trouble talking, but I am very, very thankful. All right, Mr. Bushman, take us away.
All right. So my final comment for Jack is this. I really loved how you started out. You identified who you were, that you are with We the Kids. You basically set the stage. You invited me in quickly, and you asked a very good opening question. Does anybody remember what the question was or how he kind of phrased it? It was a question and a comment kind of mixed together, but it was open-ended to get me talking. You guys remember what it was? He said, Mr. Bushman, welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Now, I could have just said, well, I'm Sam. Then there would have been this awkward silence and he would have had to fill it, right? But the way he asked the question gave me the opportunity to say, well, here's who I am. Here's what I do. Here's what I want you to know about me. And that gives him the chance then to every phrase, every statement I make, for him to kind of make a mental note to say, that's something I want to pick up on. That's something that gives me a direction for the interview. That's something that lets me ask my next question. And all the while, I'm speaking about his initial opening, gives him the chance to take the interview in many different directions. That's great. That's what you want. That's how you want to start out. You want to be in charge of the interview. So you pick the direction, but you open up yourself to a lot of options based on what I say to take the interview in different directions. If you ask a question, welcome, Mr. Bushman. Then I say, hi, glad to be here. Now you got to try to start out somehow. If you say, welcome, Mr. Bushman, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Now it's back in my court in a way that opens up the discussion. Very well done. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. How do you like that?
Very well
We're in
said.
just under an hour, and hopefully it was educational. What I really would like you all to do between now and next time we meet, I can't meet next week. I'll be out of town, but in a couple of weeks I can. And if you guys want to take the first one that we recorded and this one, blend them together and practice on each other, interview each other, interview the wall, listen to yourself. Have you done an interview and then listened to yourself in the interview and wrote down things that you didn't like that you did yourself? Do a no blame autopsy on yourself. That doesn't mean beat yourself up. That's not the point. It means to say, did you say a lot? Do you feel like you could have responded better? How? What could you do to prepare more? And evaluate yourself. One of the best things talk show hosts do that really improves their game, ups the ante, is I've told you about power words, remember? But I've also said, listen to yourself and find out the things that you do that you kind of find obnoxious a little bit that you do yourself, or things that you wish you didn't do, and learn to not do them. And then after you get those things out of the way, you start to say, what could I do better? Do I need a greater vocabulary, a larger vocabulary? Do I need to use some power words? Do I need to prepare a little more so I have better questions? What do I need to do next to up my game? And so that's what I'm hoping you guys will do homework on. And next time when we come, I want to see one of you guys interview somebody else. So interview each other. I will be part of the peanut gallery this time in the next one. And I will then critique. We'll do a no blame autopsy again, but I'll critique it. I won't be part of either interview. I won't be part of the sample in front of you guys or the demonstration. And I won't be interviewed or the interviewer. I'll just be kind of a peanut gallery watching the interview. And then we'll kind of break that down. And so you guys can figure out who's going to do that, how you want to do it. But I want you to do one more thing for me. I want you to put a bullet point up on the screen. You can do either bullet points like I did in a simple document, or if you really want, you can get a PowerPoint together. But I want you to put up on the screen the things that we're talking about, who the guest is, what about them is the reason they're the guest. Do they have a website? Do they have a book? Are they an author? What are they? And some of the kind of summary highlights of the interview. Either you can have in advance or you can write it on the fly. So one of the things that I do when I do radio, believe it or not, I write my notes while I'm interviewing the guest on the fly. It's hard because now I got to pay attention to the guest and write at the same time. But if you practice it, you can get good at it. So there's your homework. Judy, back to you.
Well, I'd like to welcome our other Arizona family have just got on. I'm Afton. Is that you? I can't see. You're so grown up. There you are. I'm so glad you guys got to at least come in for a few minutes. I think we'll probably go ahead and meet next Thursday anyway, have the kids on, and then we can discuss and have them interview each other and talk about what we're going to do when Mr. Bushman is back the following week. So I'll be sending this recording out. I haven't stopped it yet. How do I stop it, Sam?
Oh, before you stop it, Judy.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I had a couple of suggestions to help the kids. Just being a homeschool mom, I'm all about reinforcement and trying to build out.
You got to say who you are so everybody knows who's giving this advice, though.
Scarlett Lanny, Jack's mom.
There you go. Yes, ma'am.
Henry's mom. Yeah. So, two things. Number one, I wanted to let everybody know that this is a gift that you guys are able to be part of this group. So not only because of We the Kids and the great work that they're doing to get truth out and all the radio, the great stuff that Judy does and We the Kids, but also because you can learn from someone like Sam Bushman. Now, not everyone is handed an opportunity like this. And I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to be a lecturing mom. Someday you'll say, man, I'm so glad I locked into that and followed his direction and did the practicing. Or someday you'll say, dang, I wish I had paid more attention and taken that more seriously. So
boy, do I say that second one a lot in my life, unfortunately, ma'am.
Yes. And then the second thing I wanted to say is just to remind you guys, you're given a gift. But the second thing I wanted to say is that this is just my recommendation. I don't know how Judy or the other parents feel about it, but I feel like if the kids had more connection in between this so they can work off of each other and share ideas, whether they want to get into a group text or anything like that, they can hold each other accountable. They can share the bullet points. Maybe one of them can say, hey, I'll listen back to the recording and make the notes of what our assignment was. Whatever it is, you guys can help each other, build community, and challenge each other so that you do go to the next level from week to week or whenever the meetings are. So with your assignments.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so do I, Scarlett. I really appreciate that. The Arizona girls Campbell's and Schwartz know each other. Their moms are friends. And all the kids, these kids were on The Answer San Diego. Afton wasn't. Libby wasn't, but they've been turning in reports. Jack and Henry were on The Answer San Diego with Aaliyah and Sammy. I don't know whether you guys realize that or not. So yes, I agree. They all need to get together and start getting to know each other and start interacting. And this is our core group. So anyway, I can't thank you enough. And we'll talk. Hopefully, let's all try to get together next week again. The Campbell girls are having issues because they have other stuff they're involved in at this time. So we have to do something about that. So I'm working on that.